Hello friend, if you're watching this, you are watching the very last video of a 30-day upload challenge that I started about a month ago. I had this idea to kind of shake off the nerves of sharing on YouTube by just challenging myself to upload a video every single day for 30 days. And there's a lot I learned through this experience, and I just want to share some of that experience with you. If you've been watching all of them, I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking along. There's a playlist down below, I believe, that has all of the 30 videos from this challenge. I'm always wanting to share stuff, but I'm always a perfectionist about it, and I just put it off, and I'm like, this isn't good enough. And having a block of time where it's saying, hey, these 30 days, there needs to be a new upload at least once a day. And I could do that however I want. That was the rule. That was the measure of success of like, is there an upload every single day for these 30 days? And throughout it, I did lots of different things. At the beginning, I was doing a bit more structured, styled stuff, and I was using my phone a bit more just to see if that sped things along. I ran into a lot of technical difficulties, which caused hurdles. I got sick, and my family got sick over the month. That caused hurdles. I would film some of them in bulk. Surprise, if you've seen me in sequential videos and I look the same. Some of these might have been filmed in bulk because I work a full-time job and I'm a dad, and I only have little pockets of time to do these and film these. So I would film them in bulk. I would edit them in bulk. I would stay up late sometimes and put them together and create the thumbnails and schedule them and make sure that there was an upload every single day. It's been cool because 30 topics to talk about has been tricky. You know, it's hard to come up with that many topics and make them interesting. But the goal wasn't for these all to be the best video or to be interesting or to get the most views. It was to share a video. And I was able to do that. And there would be some times that I literally hit record and I think, shoot, I didn't actually think through what I'm going to talk about in this one. I would basically just start and figure out what I was talking about in that moment. Let's talk about some of the things that have changed. I started filming on my phone. Sometimes I would film in the car because that's just where I could film. I've been using this nicer camera for a little bit just to experiment, because when I've got to do it every 30 days, there's a lot of room inside to experiment with things. And I don't know if you've noticed, but if you go back through those videos, I experimented a lot with my thumbnails at the beginning, where I just kind of had text on the screen, and I switched to this like gray background outline one. And then I switched to these ones that I was overlaying the text because I saw other videos online that I like that style a lot. It's just been cool because I can experiment while doing this challenge, because as long as the one thing goes out every day, I can kind of change a lot of other stuff. I can change what camera I use. I can change the thumbnails. I can change how I do the descriptions. I've heard this analogy, and I bring this up to friends a lot. And maybe I've said this, sorry if I've said this in one of the vlogs already, but there was some study where it was two groups of people and they were going to make like a pot, like a flower pot or some sort of fancy pot. And one group was tasked with just making one really good pot by the end of a month, and the other group was tasked with making the most amount of pots in a month. I think what they found after the study is that the people who made more pots, who were focused on quantity, by the end of the month they were making better quality pots than the person who just had to focus on making one really good one. It's just because they had so many reps in and they made so many pots that they were able to just raise the quality. They had so much practice, while the other group was just maybe taking their time waiting to make one perfect thing. They weren't getting the reps in. They were like working in theory rather than practice, you know? They were in their head rather than using their hands and getting out there and doing it. And I feel like that's something that I gained from this. I feel a bit more comfortable uploading at this point. I feel a bit more comfortable sharing. And I'm like, yeah, it's not perfect. I couldn't make it perfect. Some of these I didn't have any cuts in because I was falling behind and I just didn't have time to edit them. It's not perfect, but I hit the mark. I'm sharing it. We're good. And I think doing that so many times has really helped me, one, feel a bit better about things not being absolutely perfect and just sharing something, and it might click with somebody. And two, I just learned a lot from the experience of what works, what doesn't, what gear do I like to use, when's the best time to do this, how do I handle my schedule, how do I make my thumbnails. All of that has improved because I've done it for 30 days. So it's been really, really cool. And I encourage anyone else who's watching this who's interested, like, try to do something like this. 30-day challenge. The only goal is to upload something that day. Because I also just have discovered what it is that I like talking about. I discovered that I kind of like treating it like it's one take, that it's live. If I have in my head that I'm not going to edit this and it's going to be one take, sometimes I like my energy a bit better. Sometimes I'm a bit more thoughtful in what I say because I'm not just thinking, oh, I'm just going to cut this up and whatever. So I learned that about myself, that if I can try to have it in my head to perform live, I think I do a bit better. And I think I've gotten probably a bit better at talking about things and just kind of riffing about things. And yeah, just a little better in all aspects. And now we might say, what's next? You done your 30 days? Are you still going to do anything? Yes, but I'm going to take a break. This has been a little challenging schedule-wise to keep this going, but I'm glad I got it done. And I'm excited to take what I've learned here and apply these skills and maybe make something that I have more time to polish, you know? I did the challenge where I'm making a pot every single day. And now that I've done that, I want to take a break, take a breather, and maybe make a really nice pot. I want to brainstorm through these 30 videos and focus on what is it that I like talking about? What is it that I'm interested in? And what can I really make that would really add some value to someone's life? If I took the time to write it and outline it more thoroughly, if I took the time to film it in a more complex way that was more visually interesting. Like, what could I do if instead of these 30 days, I made 30 videos, if in 30 days I made one video? I'm just kind of excited about what that looks like and the potential there. So I still plan on making stuff and sharing stuff. This has been fun, even though it's been challenging. And I just am going to take a little hiatus and do some planning. And I'll be back at some point with something new, hopefully. I really appreciate you sticking around, watching through these vlogs of just some guy talking about his thoughts and trying to be creative and just trying to have a little fun. And yeah, I'm excited for the future and what's to come. Let me know what you thought of this challenge in the comments below. If there's anything you thought was cool, if you had a favorite video of the bunch, if this is encouraging you to try some sort of challenge as well. But that's all I've got for this one. And I usually say, I'll catch you in the next one. And I will, whenever that comes around. And it'll be a little bit different shape, a little bit different form. That all being said, thank you for your time. And I'll catch you in the next one.